Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the TechTeenth Podcast, where tech and Black excellence meet. Hey guys,
What up,
how y'all doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. I can't complain. What's been going on in your world this week? Good week, bad week?
Yeah, it's been a great week.
Oh,
well, it's Q3 now, so
Yes.
I've been traveling a lot lately. It's been a lot in the last few weeks. Jamaica, Miami, DC.
Oh, see, and here we
It's-
thought he was traveling for work. Look at this man.
DC was for work though.
Okay,
DC was
all
for work
right.
for a day, 36 hours. But no, it's been great, man. Everything's been good. You know,
Okay.
we got the holiday coming up, so
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Holiday. Yeah.
What about
I'll
you?
take it. Productive week. No complaints. Coming off a lot of travel too. I was out in Jamaica for a homeboy's wedding. Then I went to Cancun for some personal downtime. So it's good to recover and get back to it.
Listen, y'all, get to the money, okay? This is the life you can live.
You see the green lights, right?
No, I feel y'all. It's been a lot of trouble for me too. And I think what's interesting is obviously we're in a time where I feel like summer, you have to always be dialed in. You want to, go places, take your photos, be seen. So we're going to kind of maybe pivot a little bit in our conversation today and kind of talk about what is life when you have your tech life on mute. Some of the things that we see just personally, people around us, and even in our community.
Yep.
So kind of breaking down a little bit, almost as a overarching topic, like digital minimalism versus digital avoidance, and how we see that play a part in our lives, in our culture. And so I think it's good to maybe start at just the baseline of what is digital minimalism and what is digital avoidance. And so digital minimalism definition,
okay.
a conscious, intentional approach to using technology. It's about maximizing value while minimizing distractions, versus digital avoidance, which is the avoidance or rejection of technology out of overwhelm, fear, frustration, or lack of access and knowledge.
Okay, so I think I strive to be a digital minimalist. I'm definitely not avoiding it, but I strive to be a minimalist. I even check I know all of us get every week the iPhone weekly, like every Sunday. It tells you how long you use your phone.
I don't look at that.
Yeah. On the next episode, we'll see how long everybody uses
I know,
their
right?
phone. But I try to get lower every week. If it says 7 hours, I'm like, well, let me get it to 6. If it says 5, I said, let me get it to 4.
Have you ever gotten an alert that makes you like, oh my God, I got to put this thing down? What's like the highest? Because I do know mine.
I got the track of the for social media.
Yeah.
I only got an hour on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
I
mean,
think
you can exit.
It says
You can
again,
say,
ignore
hey,
ignore for today every day. I'm like, why do I even have this then? So yeah, I use that timer or the restriction setting.
But why do you restrict yourself? Why try to be a minimalist?
Because I spend too much time on technology, on using technology.
But are you not being productive? More productive?
No. No, I'm on Instagram for 5 hours on Saturday.
That's a separation. That's a separation right there. You're on it for social media for just likes and scrolling.
I don't consider my work time part of my screen time, which is what I should though, because it is part of my
takes away from your productivity from personal and business.
True.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
So
my fun screen time, because my screen time for personal and business is normal. It's average. It's regular.
okay.
I think.
maybe. I don't know.
I don't know what average and normal and regular is relative.
So I try to be a minimalist, but it's cutting out again Instagram, Facebook, even the games. I'm on Wordle or Connections.
I delete them.
I get to get away from it. So I want to be as intentional about my day and productive and focus on one thing at a time. So I try not to be on my phone a lot or just around technology.
See, and I think some of the question though is like, why? Right?
Yeah.
At what point, to your question earlier, at what point is it actually inhibiting versus it's an escape? So like I'm a game person on my phone.
Really?
I
Okay.
definitely got
What
games on my phone. Really, it's just one. It's Royal Match. I'm addicted. It is what it is.
I get that ad every time. I'm like, no.
And it's just don't do it. I'm down a rabbit hole. The level I'm on is high key embarrassing. But what I will say is I've limited it to the weekend because it's like, okay, I know I can play this game for a while, but it's also a release. And a part of it is like, I enjoy this. It doesn't feel like mind numbing.
Right.
It feels like, at least this is how I fool myself, I'm strategically looking to see how many moves I have left. I'm trying to make sure that I see the matches. What's optimal for me to do so I can actually beat this level?
Okay.
So I feel like, to me, I think oftentimes it's like, oh, you're on social media. That's bad. But for me personally, after the mini breaks, which the guys give me a little shit about, but I take breaks.
Ghost on us.
I will go ghost. I get overwhelmed. But what I decided to do was make my algorithm work for me, so it also doesn't feel like I'm just getting the Shade Room, Justin LeBoy. Like I stopped following, blocked all of that stuff, completely changed my algorithm. Yeah. So at least it's okay when I do go on social media, outside of the stuff that of course people, your friends will post on their stories, which is straight bullshit. Yeah. But it's like on my feed, when I decide to scroll, it's enriching things for me or things that I'm actually interested in, things that I feel like can help. Yep. So it at least takes the edge off of like all social media is bad. Now we're in Love Island season, so my TikTok is completely demolished. But outside of that, I think it's a pretty good thing.
So I reset my algorithm for, I don't know if y'all know how to do that. In Instagram, you can, there's a setting where you can
here next week.
I'll do a demo.
I know, right? I'll do a demo for y'all. Walk us through maybe some of the steps
you can go, like, if your algorithm for me, for instance, I had a lot of Instagram baddies on my
living your truth, King. Living your truth.
I'm like, all the models on my joint. I was like, yo, I'm looking at too many women. I need to look at some AI pages or some Google pages, something, right? So I went through and unfollowed a lot of them. So that's step one. But then I realized you can reset your algorithm to show you the content that you most recently liked. So now it's a lot of AI stuff that we do, robotics, all the stuff that we talk about. That's my algorithm. That's my news feed, my timeline now versus Instagram models and BS that I don't really care about. So yeah, you can go in and reset your content, the content that you receive on Instagram. I don't know if it's on Facebook or anything else yet, but I know Instagram got it in your settings and we can walk out through it. But
but
that helped a lot.
So another point where being a minimalist, where I strive to be, as well as to stay connected to you and family, friends, children, parents. Like the more you're in your technology, the more you're away from them as well. So it's put this down. Let me just make a phone call and stay connected to somebody. I think we're getting away from each other more and more with that piece as well. Some of us are good at connecting with people and staying connected. And then there's others who just, and they see, they make a like and that's it. And that's their engagement with you. And I think that's we're headed somewhere real terrible.
So can that be looked at as the opposite of what you said? If I'm watching my friends and family stories post their life online, I am still connected to them.
You're connected to them. Are they connected to you? It's one way at that point.
It is a one-way connection. It's not two-way. But you still a little
that goes into the whole conversation of like friendships. Like as you get older, not all friendships are like 50-50. Yeah. And it's like, it is what it is.
But we got hundreds of friends. That's the problem in real life.
That too.
Right. Yeah. We got hundreds like friends from kindergarten all the way to now. So kindergarten, high school, college.
And I would argue, I wonder if that's like human nature to stay connected with people that long, because it's like technically, not too long ago, despite what everybody might think, people only stayed in touch with people who stayed in the same area as them. Right. You might have a few people that you actually knew, but actually I was reading in Mel Robbins' book, Let Them, she talks about like the elements that make up friendship. And it's things like proximity, time of life, certain things that already are inhibited with technology. Status, where you are in life, what you can do. But it's interesting because I do think some of that is impacted, especially when you talk about like, okay, if I want to be a digital minimalist or even I want to avoid it, how that can take you out of the loop of so many things. But without it, we might have more connections than maybe we could actually humanly handle.
Yeah, so we need a healthy balance of both. I mean, we have to stay connected to our friends, our family, through social media. Our parents are on, our grandparents are on. My grandmother has 8 Facebook pages, probably going on 9.
She's that's how my great is. I get a new framework. I'm like, cookie.
So it keeps a lot of the generations, again, connected to us. We might not be connected to them. So there's a healthy balance that can go into play there.
Yeah. Well, here's a few stats, right? So they say 33% of older adults, 65 and above, say they never go online. So they don't have Facebook, they don't have Instagram, they don't even get online for news.
How much?
33%.
That's a big number.
That was from a study done in 2023.
I can see that.
That's 65 plus.
The boomers and the
That's
I mean, I can see it to a certain extent of like, I mean, to be honest, my parents didn't give social media a try at all until I had my daughter, because it felt like, okay, this is a way for me to stay connected without requesting photos all the time. And then just like, I think most people, once you get on, you realize that it's not what it is. But I mean, think about how many even they still hinge on it today. It's like, I ain't getting on Facebook. And it's like, Facebook, I'm not getting on Facebook either. You know? Like,
somebody said that to me the other day. Yeah, when we was out. This girl was like, I don't have a Facebook. But she's a millennial. And I was like,
Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I have one. I don't use it. Yeah.
But now it's TikTok. So do you have a TikTok now?
Well, I just got on TikTok. like the last couple of months.
That's crazy.
Because I was
Are you on TikTok?
No, I'm not.
TechTeenth founders.
I know, no. But I will say I get it.
Yeah.
Because I was very much, I don't want to get on it. I don't want another social platform.
Exactly.
Everybody I know is on Instagram until I got on TikTok.
See?
And I realized how much TikTok rebirthed almost my love for social media in a way that Instagram had taken away, and I didn't realize it. Because Instagram had gotten so formulaic that it just felt like it was putting me in this box. I was never getting anything new. I would have had to search something, obviously, on Google, something that tied it back, but I never got things that were new or unique. Where, yeah, TikTok just has a different algorithm, a different way that it works, where it'll show you different things based on who you follow, where you are, and it'll always be funny. Like, I mean, or I have a Jesus side of my TikTok. My TikTok's crazy, but it feels like there's always something there for me. So I enjoy it.
All right, I got another stat for y'all. We're going to bring it back to our people. Only 54% of Black households have access to high-speed broadband internet compared to 80% of white households. So that shows like that our access is already limited. If you don't have high-speed internet in this day and age, you probably can't access certain things. Like your Netflix is flickering, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You're not,
buffering, right?
You're not creating content.
And you're not creating content,
like very poor quality,
right? Yeah. So like our people are already behind the ball, and now we don't even have the right tools, such as high speed internet, to even stay on top of things. Right?
You know what's interesting is what I have found, and you guys let me know if you've noticed this in like either distant family members or maybe people that you've known over time. I feel like our community has a tendency to stay away from things that they just don't understand and will cloak it as, like there's too much, or I don't want to go on there, or they gonna steal my DNA. They're gonna look at my eyes, and it's like, oh Lord, you know, all of the things that they go into, and it simply comes down to the real truth is I don't have access,
right?
Or even just the restricting. I mean, financially, right?
Yeah.
You know, they make plans, sure, where you don't actually have to go in and buy your iPhone for the full value. It can be baked into your monthly bill, but for a lot of people, that even extra whatever is not enough. Then to tack on, I have this very expensive phone that I don't even have the technical capabilities to use it, and how then that like area of digital avoidance could literally be based in fear of like lack of access, lack of understanding because of it.
I didn't even have Wi-Fi in my mama house until a couple years ago. I love you, mama. I know she gonna watch. Shout out to mama. But
it's not
she didn't have Wi-Fi, so I wouldn't even go there because I couldn't work from there. I would stay at my friend's house or go somewhere else because I ain't have Wi-Fi. And I was like, Mom, we gotta get some Wi-Fi when I come home. And she finally got it. But that was like within the last 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, but that goes to the two stats you said.
My don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. So that shows like that older generation is living without Wi-Fi, period. And even the one the Wi-Fi they have is like a lower level, like the lowest like type of Wi-Fi you get, the lowest broadband.
Yeah. I mean, so it's definitely something that I think is super prevalent. Something that I again, it's like even you questioning it, like, 33%, are you sure? I think there's a lot of ignorance, and even in just the fact that technically, if we were to take us, it's like, your mother directly doesn't have it. That's 33% of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of like somebody who closely is impacted, where we're not talking about grandparents. We're talking about our actual parents. And I think it's interesting the more that people realize what that big difference is and how some of our socioeconomics really do transcend into things I don't think people even.
So we go. I was
gonna say, well, we're talking about the 30% that don't have it, but the 67% that do have it, there's a percentage of those people who still don't see the value in accepting social media, accepting technology, accepting AI, they're still not seeing the value in it either. So we have a big gap still looming above our heads.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of them only have it for Netflix, not for, for like watching shows, not necessarily to power programs that they want to use or, anything beyond that capacity.
Yeah, now my mama got Amazon. She was like, Alexa. Like, she full blown into it now, right? But yeah, 5 years ago, that wasn't even a thing. Like having Wi-Fi, Alexa,
and the smart home
Fire Stick. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
it's crazy. So I know we talked a bit about like the aspiration for digital minimalism. Okay. Have you guys ever been in a position where you actually lean more into the digital avoidance space?
Never.
Digital avoidance. Like when I'm on vacation.
Okay.
When I'm in the desert,
disconnected.
Arizona desert, Antelope Canyon. You can't bring your phone out there. Yeah. But no, you can't actually.
It's definitely a good feeling and to get reset, take a trip, or even being at home and just say, I'm not going to touch my phone, I'm not going to turn on my TV, and just go earthing. Go put your feet in the grass and the dirt. Just touch the concrete. Feel the sunshine on yourself. So a lot of us are working these jobs or even in office buildings, and you're inside all day. You have to go outside. You have to get vitamin D. You have to go move your bodies. Get away from the technology. It keeps you still. It keeps you stagnant. Keeps you in place. We have to move.
Yeah. So I think I sent us this. That was a stat that if you took 3 days off from any kind of technology, like screens, like it increased your brain capacity by like 30% or something like that. Like it helped you remember more, help you be more productive. It was just with 3 days of no screens. So imagine if you went a week or 2 or a month. Do y'all think y'all could go a week without the internet?
I mean, well, the internet is crazy.
I did it once, actually. I did it in the mountains not on purpose. Somebody cut the Wi-Fi cord.
Oh,
so somebody got cut, so we couldn't connect to the internet, and I had no Wi-Fi. It was through New Year's.
I guess I've done it before.
So your garages are connected to the internet. Your security systems, my AC units connected. So does that count?
No, I think it's like your actual use of like opening a laptop or...
Oh, yeah, I could definitely go a week or two.
I definitely... Sure. Well...
I hope I can one day soon.
Yeah. I was going to say...
I'll try it.
I've done
minus work.
Yes. Say minus work. We got to find a good one. Yeah. But I've done it before. And I asked a bit about the digital avoidance because I've avoided out of fear of losing my own thought process. So I got into a string of things where I was noticing certain entertainment was funny. Certain like podcasts or things that I was consuming, I really enjoyed. But then I started realizing that my thoughts were based off of other people's thoughts, that it wasn't, really my own organic. What do I think about this? I would start things with, I heard on, I saw on, and it was never, this is actually my own thought. And I literally one day caught myself. It was like an outer body experience. And I was like, do you have an original thought? Like, do you have your own opinions that aren't tied to what other people have told you or their iteration of a story? And it shook me to my core that I literally was like, I'm not doing social. I need to get off of everything. So no news outlets, like all of that stuff. And it was crazy how much of a weight was lifted off me, not having... Because the reality is we don't get a report on these are how many puppies were found in Atlanta this week. It is always... this person's going around eating dogs. It's the great extreme, not literally in Atlanta, but as an example,
They're doing their own campaigns. They're eating dogs. I
know, but it's still one of those things where it's interesting to that point of I definitely felt my brain kind of almost do a bit of a reset during that time. And I do find that it's valuable, which is for Lent. And I do think it'll be a very consistent thing for me to go without it for 40 days and 40 nights. You don't really want it. Like once you're out of that first little time, you don't really think about it. And it does allow you space and time to just pick up the phone, get in touch with people, figure out what they have going on, having more meaningful conversations that aren't based off of just what did you see on the internet today.
Yeah.
How long was this that you went for?
40 days.
It was 40 days? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we missed you in that. It was like, how you getting your news? Like, what are you doing? Reading the newspaper? Like, what you doing?
Through conversation. Like anything that was big, people were like, hey, did you see this? No. Or a lot of great friends, shout out to my homegirls that were keeping me up to date. But it's like they would say, hey, this big thing happened.
Yeah.
And it was actually super timely because it was shortly after Trump got in office.
Okay.
And a lot of things were just chaotic. So it was a pretty good reset.
So people they want to stay up to date with everything that's going on. They don't want to be out of the loop. They want to all this stuff on, certain Netflix shows. And I don't even want to say I want to be in my algorithm, but get away from just the noise in your life, in your brain. Just take a step back. Talk to yourself. Talk to others. I'm a huge advocate of that.
I try to spend at least 10 to hopefully 30 minutes a day in silence with no screens. And it helps me a lot. Like I'll go on my balcony and I'll just sit out there and just be in my own thoughts. No kind of screens. And I've heard that's helped. I've read that that's helped. But that's something I try. That's like a small thing you can do daily. I did 10 minutes. I started with 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
I meditate in the
10
morning.
minutes.
The thing about it is I do.
Oh, it ain't even meditation.
And
it's just no screen, just no device telling me something.
Don't hear anything. No
Yeah,
podcast,
no nothing. Yeah, just
no
be
music.
present.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that for us and our people, right, is the high device cost, right? So sometimes it's not on purpose that we are being a minimalist or avoiding it. It's like we can't afford the $1,200 iPhone or the $2,500 MacBook. So if I'm not buying those devices, then I have limited my access to the devices, which limits my access to the internet and, being on them screens all day. So
I was about to say, I'd actually be surprised how many people, or I wouldn't be surprised if there was a high number of people who don't have a laptop or, some sort of tablet, iPad, and a lot of people are just relying on their phones and the limitations. While we've gotten used to it, I mean, I'm still old, so there are certain things where it's like, you want me to do what? And I have to go to a laptop. I can't do certain things on my phone. I need to be able to see all of the options on the screen, certain things like that. But there are still even limits to if you only have one piece of equipment that you have access to. It can still be pretty limiting.
Well, speaking on that, what's one piece of tech like you've refused to use for a long time or even a short period of time? I want to say TikTok, but that's like a tech app.
Yeah.
Like you still ain't on TikTok, so that's one. But like, I don't know. What's a piece of tech you've refused to just
Ring security cameras. I don't use that at all. I've already seen the access that can have inside your house. I've seen too many stories and real news clips where people can hack into that and watch you in your own home. Yeah. So nothing's protected in my opinion. So I won't use the Ring cameras. I'll go old school.
But you can do the outside Ring camera.
Yeah, I have the outside. Yeah.
I still avoid it.
I have the outside because I don't feel at this point there's any reason for me to watch the inside of my home. Yeah. Maybe when my daughter gets older and I need to keep a little closer eye. Right. But I would say right now there's no real need. And quite frankly, to anybody listening to this, there's nothing in my house of immense value. It's not that crazy. Yeah. But I will say though, I got an Alexa once, or somebody gifted an Alexa. And I did not like that thing, and I refuse to have a system in my house that speaks.
And they're all over my house.
See, we there. I'm not getting no Alexa home. No, nope. They worse than the camera. We talking. They hear everything.
Your phone is already there, bro.
True.
No,
now you're giving another platform. Now you're getting Amazon access to all your stuff instead of Apple and Google.
I get it.
Everybody got all your stuff.
They can't see me.
It was too freaky. Some of them do have cameras.
They do got cameras. Some of them got cameras, but that's the one I was gonna say. I don't use the Alexa, the smart home stuff. Nah. Okay. A Nest. That's the closest smart home device.
I don't never get an iRobot. Just I don't care about something moving around my house on the floor either.
Yeah.
I do myself.
Oh, the Roomba.
Yeah, I get it myself. I sweep and mop myself.
Now, when the real robots come out,
I don't trust it.
I'm getting one of those.
This makes zero sense.
Does not make any sense.
You don't want Alexa, but you want to walk. I want to walk and talk to a robot.
Robot. Give me a Megan.
All right.
Male version.
A Megan is crazy. No, all the examples.
I want a robot, man. Y'all seen them little robots that they got now? All right, we get off topic. We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, that's what. Anything else? Any other tech you refuse to use?
I think that's it.
I would say that's it for me.
Yeah.
That one just feels a little too invasive.
Do you have
for me.
smartwatches?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. No smartwatch.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I got it for the fitness aspect, and now I can't.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that. I just don't use it. Yeah.
When I get my mega mansion, I'm gonna have smart everything. Smart refrigerator, smart stove. I want it all. Give me all the digital
All the
technology. Like, give me
I
everything.
feel
I'll tell somebody I want a refrigerator that knows when my stuff about to spoil and order it for me with AI.
Now, I do want that too.
That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So there's been pluses and minuses, benefits and
okay.
disadvantages. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think being a digital minimalist or digital avoidance, it just depends on what you want. At certain times we're minimalist, sometimes we're avoidant, and sometimes we're all in, right? So it just, case by case basis. A lot of people are different in what they feel they want to do.
It's your own knowledge, your own awareness, your own safety.
Yeah.
It's all in your control. So don't let it master you, master the tools.
For sure. And I think there's something we were doing a little bit of, catching some of the things we need for this. It's also making sure that you're really aligned with the mindset that you're using in this, of like making sure that minimalism is more intentional. It's more about like how you're using what you have and making sure that it is productive, that it is thought generating or thought provoking, I should say, versus, and then even avoidance. It's like when you decide to go touch grass, disconnect for 3 days so you can reset. Really ask yourself, why am I doing it? Is it because I'm overwhelmed? Is it because I'm fearful of something going on? And just kind of reconnecting with that. So that way you're not getting so avoidant that now you're just a hermit and you have no awareness of anything going on or any access that could be beneficial or even help, because there's a lot of mental health involved with technology, not just social media wise, but how we receive information, what comes to us, and how we utilize technology. It's a bit of a plus and a minus, but yeah.
So with that, y'all, please comment on your thoughts. Are you a digital minimalist? Or are you a digital avoidant? Or neither, right? You need access to your technology all the time, which we'll be talking about on the next episode.
Yes.
Right? So like, share, subscribe, comment, follow, all the good things, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Thank you, guys.